I'm Peter Bois, nationally touring magician.
And I'm Gus Davis, nationally touring game show host.
We don't get regular Saturday nights because we are out performing on the weekends.
That's why Mondays are so special to us. They are our Saturdays.
We will help you get through your Monday by joining us on our Saturday.
Monday is the new Saturday.
Welcome to Monday Club.
Yar! Cheers! And happy day of Mun! Hey, everybody out there in Monday Club land, this is Gus Davis. Along with me, as always, is my wonderful voice mate, Mr. Peter Bois. Hey, this week, we cheers to jacking around at work with your big boy toys. Something I know that you guys all want to hear about. Gus takes a drive through the Triangle of Despair all across the country. Pete gets his horticulture on. Gus starts a prison riot at Subway. We recap the royal wedding. No, I'm just kidding. We're not ever going to do that. We talk about zombies. And, of course, this week's Teachable Moment. Stick around. It's going to be a lot of fun!
We made it to another Monday, sir.
Cheers!
Cheers,
my
man.
friend.
I see you're not at home.
Oh my gosh! You know those times when we're doing Monday Club and we're just grateful that we made it to Monday.
Yeah.
Well, this is one of those Mondays, man. Yeah, I am not at home. I am recording from one of my favorite La Quintas in Mobile, Alabama. And so if you guys hear vacuuming or somebody knocking on the door saying housekeeping, I apologize. But yeah, man, I am literally grateful to be alive. We were supposed to record yesterday and last night, and I called Pete and was like, Pete, dude, I don't know if I'm going to make it until like 11 o'clock at night. And he was like, oh, man, we can do this. We can do it in the morning before you check out. And from that phone call until the GPS said, hey, it's time for you to exit, like I don't remember the time. I just don't. And so I'm very grateful to be alive on this Monday.
You went in a half sleep, half fugue state of let's not wrap this car around a telephone pole.
I did, man. I went into the Odin sleep. And it was funny, I'm driving our big van, and it has armrests, and I literally I like caught myself with my arm on the armrest, propping my head up, just driving around like I'm driving around like I'm watching the news. It was crazy.
There's a good excuse for cocaine. Really, officer? Yeah. It's to keep me awake. I'm not addicted. I did not want to die. It's a public.
That's right.
I'm doing a public
it's
service.
For safety.
Yes,
it's for safety. That's right. Safety first, last, and always. Anyway, man. Cheers! It is so good to see you. Thanks for getting up early with me this morning.
You too, man. Thanks for making this happen. This week we are cheersing our official cheers of the week. You found, and it is freaking hilarious. Do you want to describe it? Or you want me to go for it?
No, I got this. Okay, so basically it's a video. It's a very short video. You guys should all check it out. It is a video of two excavators that are apparently working on the construction on the road, and instead of who knows? Maybe they're on break. Maybe they just haven't gotten the official word that it's time to get started yet. And so they've drawn a tic-tac-toe grid on the ground with their jackhammer attachments on their excavators.
The road they're working on.
In the road. And then these two guys they're facing each other in their giant excavators, and they're playing tic-tac-toe like directly into the asphalt of the street. Because why not?
This is the greatest break pastime ever for construction workers. I love this. They have jackhammer attachments on their excavators or something that breaks up the roads, and it is just hilarious just to see these arms moving and.
So there's some things about this that I love. I love that there is. I mean, these guys have pure joy on their face while they're doing this too, because it's everything they wanted to do. It's like Bob the Builder on crack.
You know, we could probably do this. Do you know that there's an adult playground outside of Minneapolis that lets you play in a big dirt pit with huge construction vehicles.
What?
Yes, there is. There's when I was in Minneapolis, I look at those rack cards every once in a while because I'm like, what's going on? Zip lines, caves, cool. And there's a big construction pit, just a big dirt pit, and they've got excavators and backhoes and bulldozers and I don't know, dump trucks, and you can just go in and freaking just dig a big hole with your excavator. We could go there and get 2 excavators and make our own tic-tac-toe.
Oh my God, that's happening. I think you just came up with the show title, Adult Sandbox. That's great.
Okay, yeah, we can work with that. That's great.
Yeah.
I want to impart to all our listeners, though, the astonishment and joy on Gus's face when I told him there was an adult playground with construction vehicles.
Well, I mean, as an adult, we lose the ability. Like, I don't remember the last time I was on a swing set or got to sit down in a sandbox and make a sandcastle. But if you gave me like actual excavators and dump trucks and stuff like that, oh my God, I would just be beaming from ear to ear. That sounds
fantastic. We can play tic-tac-toe. We can play hopscotch. We can play Foursquare. Remember that game?
Oh, Foursquare would be awesome with excavators. So one of the other things that I love about this is I love the idea of if you're going to do something, just overdo it. Like, these guys could have gotten out of their excavators and played tic-tac-toe. They could have played tic-tac-toe on their phone. But no, I mean, we're in giant excavators. The street's going to get torn up anyway. We might as well play with our big boy toys. It started me thinking about, like, times that I've just overdone something and been so proud. But it reminded me of a thing that I did that I wanted to tell you about. I don't think I've told you about before. So, it was Super Bowl. It was one Super Bowl. It was a long time ago. I was still in college, I think. Or no, I guess I was just out of college because we had already started the game show company. But I got I was basically living in a frat house with all of my college buddies, and we wanted to watch the Super Bowl. And I lived in a pretty rough neighborhood, but it was a cool neighborhood, as in we knew all of our neighbors. If there was a barbecue or something like that, everyone would just walk out, and it was just assumed that everyone else was invited to your yard. And so for Super Bowl Sunday, I opened up my garage. I had a two-car garage, opened up the bay door of the garage, and then I realized that the game show screen, when fully set up, fit perfectly in there if you didn't have the legs. And so we attached the screen to the garage so it fully blocked the entire opening of the garage, and then put the projector inside the garage and did rear projection. And then we turned on all of the speakers on the outside. And so we had a flat screen rear projected TV just like on our driveway. And so we moved all the cars off and then put inner tubes, and we moved a couch outside and just threw down blankets and put some coolers out there and started the Super Bowl. And it was awesome because by the end of the night, I looked behind me and we had like 300 people just in our yard, parked in their cars. They brought rocking chairs and just sat down in the middle of the street. Like, it was badass. We just threw a block party and watched the Super Bowl outside. And I was like, hell yeah. I mean, if you're going to do something, overdo it. I mean, if you have the tools, just overdo it.
That sounds awesome. Normally, my doing something and overdoing is confined to drinking. If I'm going to have one drink, I might as well have 10. If I'm going to have one piece of pie, I might as well not leave any leftovers. But
yeah, I mean, obviously.
Your story reminded me of something we do. In my neighborhood, we overdo 4th of July. So this happened this was a thing before we moved in, but now that we moved in, we're helping expand the 4th of July celebrations. So everybody in our little block here contributes money to the pool and someone goes out and buys fireworks. Last year we had over $1,500 worth of fireworks. So
That's better than some towns.
I know, it was insane, and I live on a river, so we can shoot them up off of the marsh, and we're really safe about it. And then people make barbecue, and everybody brings food. We bring it down to the end of the road. We set up tables. We got corn on the cob. I make a famous. It's now become famous. It's a strawberry basil lemonade drink, and everybody convenes in our yard during the day, and we hang out and play beanbag toss, whatever cornhole, and then we go down there. And last year I bought, the 1812 Overture, so I bought the 1812 Overture, and I was like, oh, that's 4 minutes. I should buy the whole thing. So I bought the whole London Philharmonic's album that came on, and I brought my speakers down to where we set off the fireworks, and I just started playing this classical music as we set off $1,500 worth of fireworks over the next 45 minutes, and it was pretty
that's
epic.
badass.
It was pretty epic. And there's even talk. We have engineers amongst our group. There's talk about electronically timing things to music and getting electrical controllers so we can just set everything up and press buttons and have things blow up. And so there's a lot of potential here. And people from outside of our neighborhood are now coming. So people are getting invited, and they're, lining up, they're parking on the side of the road, and all the driveways are full. And this is the event in our area, and it's usually not on the 4th of July. It's usually the day before or after, so we don't compete with the real fireworks. But it's becoming pretty epic this year. I'm definitely going to do the music thing again. Maybe even bring a bigger sound system down there. It's going to be pretty amazing.
Yeah, dude, that's exactly what I'm talking about. It's like you have all those toys from your show. You've got a nice sound system. You've got projectors. You've got some lighting, some uplighting that you can put out, and it's like the.
Oh my God, I do. I didn't even think about the lighting. Gosh, you're giving me great ideas. Oh, and my brother-in-law's in a band. Maybe we can get him to come down and play during the day.
There you go, man.
Oh my God!
Now you circle takes a square.
Monday Club, you guys are all invited for the 4th of July.
Oh my God, that's so great. Anyway, I think on that note, cheers to those guys for jacking around with their excavators and playing tic-tac-toe.
Yes. Cheers. This week, I am drinking. We're recording super early, and I have terrible allergies. So I'm drinking cold brew coffee, and I make my own cold brew, and you should too. It's super easy. You just put a bunch of coffee in water and mix it around and let it sit for 24 hours, and then you strain out the coffee grinds, and then you have cold brew coffee, and it's amazing. In my opinion, it's more delicious than hot brewed coffee because it's less acidic, it's easier on your stomach, and you can even heat it up if you want a hot coffee. You can put it in the microwave for 30 seconds, and you got a hot cup of cold brew coffee. Isn't that weird?
So when you, I don't know anything about cold brew coffee. So you literally get coffee beans, you put it in a jar of cold water, and then you just let it sit there.
Ground coffee.
Ground coffee.
Yeah, make sure it's ground.
Oh. Okay, and what do you strain it with?
You can get. I have this pitcher that has an insert into it. That's a metal strainer. So you put all the dry coffee in there, and then you start pouring water into it. Let me back up. The strainer goes inside of this pitcher, so when you pour water through the strainer, it goes into the pitcher, and so all the grinds stay inside the strainer. But the problem with that is that you still get a gritty taste to the coffee, because there's still coffee that comes through the strainer. So I usually filter it through just a cone filter. I have a funnel, and I pour it through the cone filter into another pitcher, and that takes a couple minutes to filter it out, and then you get really smooth, grain-free coffee. You don't even need a special strainer for it. You can just pour coffee grounds and water and mix it up into a pitcher and let that sit for 24 hours and then strain it out. You'll have to strain out more, obviously, if you don't have a insert for your pitcher, but yeah, that's how I do it.
All right, cool. Well, I will check that out. I definitely need some. I wish you could just send me some right now. Monday Club, I like we said at the top of the show, I am sitting in a hotel. I checked into my hotel. I took my contacts out. I think I took my shoes off. I don't remember, and I passed out last night. And then we have to record super early so I can hit the road and try to make it back to Austin. So I am drinking the free water that they gave me at the check-in, and I'm pretty happy about that. It's actually saving my life too. So sorry to miss out on you guys this week on the drinking, but safety first, last and always.
Yeah, you do have to drive to Texas today.
I'm still happy to be. That's right. So, anyway, Pete, cheers, buddy.
Cheers. Hey, thank you guys so much for being part of Monday Club. We love that you spend your Mondays with us every week. And make sure you tell a friend about us, what we're doing, and we'll grow the club. And make sure you give us a little rating on iTunes and review up there. That helps spread the word. Share your favorite episodes on any social media that you prefer. One thing we're doing lately is we're doing exclusive content through our newsletter only. So you need to sign up for our newsletter at mondayclubpodcast.com. Put your name and email there, and we will send you a weekly update. When our show posts, and when the exclusive content comes out, we will send that along there too. You can buy us a drink. You want to buy us a cold brew coffee with some Baileys in it? That's cool. Just send us some money and what you want us to drink. You can PayPal us, mondayclubpodcast@gmail.com. We would love to taste your preferred beverages. We're also on Twitter, Monday Club Pod, and Instagram, Monday Club Podcast. I can't talk today. We're on Instagram at Monday Club Podcast, and you can listen on Spotify and YouTube. I mean, that makes it super easy. So thanks for being part of the club and spreading the word about Mondays.
Absolutely. Hey, I wanted to tell you something. One of our favorite Monday Club listeners, you're all our favorite listeners, but one of our favorite Monday Club listeners, Tristan, sent me a couple of texts back and forth yesterday. She was hanging out at Walt Disney World, and she was telling about a thing where they were telling silly, basically dad jokes at Walt Disney World, and it reminded me of a time that Bryce literally made me spit water out. So we were at dinner, we were just sitting down. It was kind of a subdued dinner. I took a sip of water, and Bryce was like, "Hey, do you want me to tell you a joke?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." So I took another sip of water, and he's like, "It's a joke about pizza." I was like, "Okay." And so I took a sip of water. He's like, "Nah, it's too cheesy." And I just spit that water all over the place. And so after that, he's told that joke probably 50 times at our house because he knows that I think it's funny. Anyway, I told her that joke, and she sent back LOL. And then a couple of hours later, she texts me, and she's like, "Okay, well, at one of the rides, they say, hey, do you want to put in anybody type in a joke here, and we'll use some of these jokes during the show." And his pizza joke made it to the show at Walt Disney World. So, Bryce, man, look, you're famous. Your joke's spreading. So good job,
Comedy
buddy.
Writer Bryce for the win. That's awesome.
Yeah,
I love that joke.
It was pretty good.
I need to use that. Let's go right into the show.
So like I said at the beginning, I've been driving all over the place. I left Austin. I drove from Austin to Cleveland, Ohio, with James in the car. And my hotel room, I could look out of the back window. I could see the ghostly spectral outline of Canada across the river. We did a late night show. James flew out, and I drove from Cleveland, Ohio, down to Daytona Beach, Florida, to do my next show.
Oh my God!
And then I'm driving this morning from Daytona Beach back to Austin. So I've just done this giant triangle all across the United States. But we've had some weird, because this has been like a no frills, do not pass go, every day is a 10 to 15 hour drive kind of tour. But we stopped off at a Flying J gas station to get gas and food and snacks and waters and stuff like that. And they had a Subway in there, and on the road, Subway is one of my favorites because I can get their personal pan pizzas there, which are easy to eat while you're driving. So I went into the Subway to get a personal pizza, and there's these two, they're high school kids behind the counter at this Flying J, and one of them, he was like, all right, well, what do you want on your pizza? And I was like, oh, I just want veggies. He's like, you don't want any meat? I was like, no, man, just veggies. He's like, that's the most disgusting thing I've ever heard. I was like, what? And he's like,
who are you, pizza police?
He's like, yeah, I know, right? He's like, that's un-American, man. That's just un-American. And I was like, well, I feel like we've started off our relationship in an awkward way. And then the girl, who also is in high school, is like, I used to work at Domino's, so I should be the one making your pizza. And then they just start getting in an argument, and just back and forth. And because I've been sitting in the car quietly for about 3.5 hours, I just start egging him on. I was like, I don't know, man. I mean, she sounds like she could make my pizza better. And he was like, no, I can do it. I'm a sandwich artist. And she was like, what does a sandwich artist have to do with knowing how to make a pizza? And he's like, I'm a fat kid. Of course I know how to make pizza. So anyway, they just keep going back and forth, and finally I'm paying for the pizza, and he's like, do you want your receipt? And I said, no, man, you can throw it in the trash, but I want you to throw it like you hate it, like you actually are sad about it and you want to just get rid of it. And he's like, fine. And he crumpled it up in front of me, and then he turns and he throws the receipt and hits the chick right in the face with the receipt. And she's like, oh, hell no. She's like, I'm going to tell your mom. And he was like, do it. And then she walks out, just walks out of the Subway stall. And I was like, what the hell? And he's like, oh, my mom works here too.
Just have to go over to the gas register there.
That's right. Anyway, so then they start throwing receipts back and forth, and so I'm walking out of the Subway with just bedlam breaking out in the Subway behind me, and I was like, I feel like my job here is done.
That's like when someone you dump gas on something, on a car, and then as you walk away, you light a Zippo and throw it behind you, and then it just goes boom as you're walking away all badass in slow motion, 120 frames.
That's exactly how I felt. That's literally exactly how I felt. I felt like I should have just lit a cigarette inside the Flying J and flicked it behind me and watch the Subway burn down.
You totally picked what state was this in?
Fun. I have no idea. I don't know. It's somewhere between Austin and Cleveland. I have no idea.
Oh man, that sounds. Because I want to stop there. That sounds like you put on a good show. Oh man, that's hilarious.
It was pretty funny.
I can't beat
let's
that.
See what else.
I can't beat that.
Don't worry about it.
All I have are allergies. Man,
okay. So I've got another Flying J
story.
Oh, good. Okay. So, did you ever watch the show Reno 911?
I've seen an episode or two, but I never watched it.
Okay, well, that is one of those shows that just always hit my funny bone. It's like basically all irreverent improv comedy. They just sit there and they either have a basic outline of a sketch or write a sketch, and then they just go with it, and you can just see how they're making most of it up on the spot. Anyway, it's a really funny show. And one of the sketches that they did that I died laughing at when it came out was their police station was filled with asbestos, and so they went to like the local crab shack basically for all you can eat crabs, and that's where they did all their meetings for the cop shop while their station was being redone for all the poison that was in the cop shop. Anyway, so they're sitting there at the cop shop, and they realize that when they arrest people, they don't have any place to put him. And so they finally, one of the sketches is they arrest this guy who's blind, and instead of taking him somewhere to lock him up, they just take him and they sit him in a booth at the crab shack. And then so they're just sitting there eating crabs, and every once in a while one of them yells out, "Keep it down, convict!" and start acting like and like they'll take their spoon and like start hitting it on the coffee mugs and be like "Keep it down, convict." Anyway, that was it was hilarious to me. So anyway, one time, this is years and years ago, our tech girl Emma was riding with me, and I get out of the car to get gas at a Flying J, and she gets out and she's asking me a question, but I can't hear her because I'm already out of the car, and so I just yell, "Keep it down, convict!" And she starts laughing, and then like in slow motion, we both look up, and for the first and only time in my life, there's a prison convoy that has stopped at this Flying J, and there's two armed officers escorting this giant man in an orange jumpsuit who is in leg shackles and arm shackles into the Flying J so he can go take a piss at the bathroom. I don't know where they're transporting him to. But I literally yell, "Keep it down, convict!" and then look up. There's this guy in shackles.
Did they hear you?
Yes!
Oh my god! Did he give you the evil eye, like, "I'm going to kill you when I kill these two cops, I'm coming back for you"?
Yeah, I made an enemy like Silent Bob.
Oh
my god, it was funny. And
what are the chances?
Both Emma and I just almost pissed ourselves laughing. I know, right?
What are the chances? It's oh my god. What are the chances that you'll be in the same Flying J? I've never seen a convoy of
I'm sure it was
of convicts. Never in all my travels.
Oh my god, it was great.
Well,
all right,
well,
man.
You
so
win.
what about you, dude? What have you been
the
up
stories
to
today? What have I been up to? Right. I've just been dealing with these really crappy allergies, man. I thought I got a cold, and now I've just had like a semi-sore throat and overall feeling of no energy, and you know how allergies go. So I'm very much looking forward to them going away one day. I've never taken allergy medicine. I feel like allergies are getting worse as I get older. Everything gets worse as I get older. Like, more aches and pains. Allergies seem to last forever. I remember getting allergies for maybe a couple days years ago, but now it's been here for a couple weeks. And I've been working outside in my garden. I put a bunch of shit in my garden. Literally. I literally
like literally that's what I do.
Literally. I composted. And so my garden is all ready to be planted this week. I'm super pumped. What should I plant? I'm taking requests. I'll fly it down to you. You have any favorite veggies?
Yeah. Do you do pumpkins?
Ooh. No, I've never done pumpkins. I do watermelon every year. We always have a huge crop of watermelons. But no, I've never done pumpkins.
I don't know, man. Pumpkins, watermelons. Yeah. What else is really good? Cucumbers. Yeah, those kind of things.
So that's pretty much it. Pretty boring around the homestead lately.
Hey, do you compost?
I tried composting a couple years ago. It was my wife's idea, but she never took the compost mantle up. And so we have one of those spinny compost things with two sides, one where you let it cook and one where you add to it. And it's just been sitting there for years with half decomposted plants in there because we never did it right. So I cleaned it out this week, and my goal is to start composting again the right way. Apparently, you need to put all your table scraps, minus meat scraps, and then you need like brown material like grass or leaves, and then you water it down, and it's supposed to just kind of cook, and after a couple months, it turns into awesome dirt you can use. So, you ever compost?
No, I really don't. I feel bad because I know that we should, It's like one of those things that I sort of feel guilty about. Like, I feel guilty when I brush my teeth and I leave the water running. Even at a hotel, I feel guilty about that. And composting is the same way. Like, when we scrape off food that we didn't eat, or just we're getting ready to do the dishes, I sort of always feel guilty that we don't have like a compost bucket that we're making dirt from. That being said, I don't like rats, so I don't have a compost section.
Do you have a
outside.
garden? Do you have a garden?
No, not really. We have a space for a garden, and if we ever got our stuff together, like we would. Like, I would like to. One of the problems for us is our backyard gets full sun most of the day, and so anything that I've ever planted, or even just potted plants that I've put outside, within 3 days, especially when I'm gone, they're just burnt, shriveled wrecks. And so yeah, I think gardening's out for me.
I know how to solve that problem.
Hit me.
Water.
Yeah, no, we don't. I know, but if I'm not the one watering it, it will just burn in the sun and catch on fire.
You know what I did? Because we were going to be a couple years ago. We were going to be gone for a week or two during the summertime. So I set up an elaborate system of sprinklers, little tiny sprinklers around my garden, and I put a timer on my spigot for the hose. It was so every day it would water the garden for like an hour, and I was an idiot because that was way too long, and I overwatered the entire garden, and everything started rotting, growing mold and stuff. But
you poor bastard!
It was a good idea. If I would have done it for 15 minutes a day, that would have been fine. But I did it for like an hour. I was pretty proud of my setup too.
Yeah, I only once in my life I rented a house, and we lived there for about 2 or 3 years, and it came with automatic water irrigation system, and I remember thinking that was like one of the most luxurious items I've ever experienced, because we had just this beautiful green lawn all the time because the sprinklers would kick in and water our grass all the time. And I was like, is this how the other side lives? And then the sprinkler system broke and all of our grass died.
Did the sprinklers come up from the ground? Did they come up?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Did you ever get stuck in it and then like scream running away? Like, do you ever You're ever out on the lawn and then all of a sudden the sprinklers turn on?
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Like they do in the movies?
Not at our house. Yeah, no, not at our house, but at walking your dog or being outside, that has happened. And for some reason, I always think that that's polluted, dirty, poison water. Like I don't know why, but I always I have a huge aversion to being wetted by those sprinklers. I just feel like maybe that's like just poop water. I don't know.
Isn't that coming from your town? Isn't that the water you drink?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I know I don't want it on me.
So your theory is that there are 2 lines of water coming to your house. One of them that goes into your house for you to drink.
Yeah, and one that fertilizes
the
plants with poop. Yeah.
That's a sound theory, Gus.
Yeah, I'm just saying I do not want it on me.
You've never run through a sprinkler as a kid?
Yeah, I mean, if I hooked it up to a hose, yeah, like if I hooked it up to a garden hose, sure. But that, I don't, I mean, like, I guess looking back on it, sure, that's like where it was hooked up to, so I'm sure it was fine. But yeah, like, you know those trucks that pass you that say non-potable water? I don't know, man. Like I said, I even though I know that it's probably wrong, I also know that is like when irrigation sprinklers pop up, is just, I'm like, oh no, hell no. I don't want to catch fire with your poison poop water.
Ladies and gentlemen, I found it. Gus, you're a very reasonable person, but I found you're a little bit of crazy. That's completely ridiculous theory. Completely ridiculous.
What's so funny is I thought you had Googled it. I thought you had Googled it, and you're like, I found it. And I was like, oh, good, I'm interested.
No, we just found you're crazy. You're a little bit of... We all got it.
We
just have to find it. We just have to find it. Oh, man. So, we should do this.
This week in the news.
This week in the news, we want to do a huge, long, wonderful, luxurious, royal episode of the royal wedding.
Or we could talk about zombies.
Yeah, zombies. Let's do zombies.
Let's talk about zombies. All
Screw
right.
the royal wedding.
Yeah, well, I couldn't care less. All right, so this week in the news, this was on AP Mobile. I got a update from AP Mobile, and this is the headline. The headline reads: "City looks for answers after zombie alert sent to residents."
This is amazing. Imagine. Okay, let's just picture yourselves sitting here. We're podcasting. Imagine you get one of those things on your phone, and it says, "Zombies are coming."
Yeah, zombie alert. Well, that's exactly what happened in this. It's Lake Worth, Florida. There was a power outage that lasted about 27 minutes, and over 7,800 customers that live in Lake Worth, Florida, got an official alert from the city that said "zombie alert." Pete, how would you react if that happened? Would you think it was a joke? Would you get a little tiny bit nervous? Like, what would you go full on bunker? What would you do?
My first emotion would probably be excitement. I would be thinking to myself, "Oh my God, they're real! This is amazing!" All these times we've talked about what we would do during a zombie apocalypse, I can finally call upon all that knowledge that I've been storing inside. But I'd be screwed because I have not been hoarding weapons or ammunition. So I guess excitement would be the first one. Then I would guess I would question and be like, "Is this really a zombie attack?" And then I would probably doubt it even more and say, "No, this is fake." And then I would probably still go into the woods with a gun and a spear.
27 minutes is a pretty long time. And I think for me it would depend on what time of day and what, like day or night, and what I was doing just before the zombie alert came in. Because if I was sitting at home and it was daytime and the power went out and then I got a zombie alert, I kind of think I would just be like, well, that's annoying. That's funny. It's annoying. I was watching TV or working on my computer and now the power's out, whatever. But if I was sitting at home and it was 11 o'clock at night and I was watching Resident Evil and then the power went out, and then I got a text that said zombie alert, and it didn't just come through it came on my phone and on my iPad and on my wife's phone, like zombie alert popped up. I mean, I kind of think that we would soldier up just a tiny bit just to make sure.
Yeah,
just to make sure.
I'd call somebody for sure. I'd say, "Is this real?" Yeah.
Who would you call? Do you know?
Zombie Busters? I would call first person I would call would be Norman Ing. He would be the first person. I'm like, "Dude, seriously?" Because he lives about 30 minutes from me, and he is fortified. Let's just say that. And I would say, "Is this real? Do we need to hunker down and build a fort and a moat and go start killing animals and salting them to keep fresh for long periods of time?" Yeah, I would totally. If it was the middle of the night, I'd probably just roll over and go back to sleep, though.
Yeah, I think if it caught me at the exact right time, before I was ready to go to bed, during me at night watching a scary movie or what would actually probably be my luck, I'd be watching a zombie movie, and all the power went out. It was pitch black in my house. My phone did the buzz thing and then said zombie alert. I think I'd soldier up a little bit. I mean, I think I would definitely bar the doors just a little bit, just to make sure everything's cool. I wouldn't put new holes. I wouldn't nail any wood or anything like that into the door. But like our sliding glass door, I might put something in front of it and just sit there with a sword and a bow and arrow and just wait it out. Just make sure it's cool.
What do you think the odds are that in Lake Worth, Florida, there are preppers there? People preparing for the end of the world.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, there's
I'm
out
sure
of
that
7,880 customers, there's got to be what, 3, maybe at least.
Yeah, I'd say about
At
3.
least 3.
Yeah,
I
3
mean, 4 to 2.
Yeah,
Uh,
I kind of feel like if this got sent out, that they should be required to go and check on everyone that got the message sent out to them and just make sure that they knew that it's okay, like that they didn't just bury themselves in their backyard in their bunker and just haven't come out yet.
Yeah, I'm sure there's somebody that's still in their bomb shelter, safety bunker, hunkered down with lots of guns and lots of food. Just march! They're out there. They're coming for us. We can't leave.
That sounds a lot like an ice cream truck. I know that's what they want you to think. They're smart zombies. They probably walk fast.
I would bet money on that. I would totally think someone's down there doing that.
Yeah, me too.
Makes me think though I should totally start
Anyway,
preparing.
they said that this alert went out. This alert went out because the system had been hacked about a year ago, and they thought they'd cleaned up all of the lines of hacking that they got busted into. But apparently, whoever hacked their system also put a line of code that said "zombie alert" for it to go out with this specific alert, and so they said, yeah, no one's been fired over this one, but it turns out there was that one line of code that was still left in the system from
this is automated?
the hurricane that happened in September.
So when the
when
the power went out, this is what's supposed to happen.
Right.
Oh, that's brilliant.
So
that's brilliant.
Yeah, it is. It is. So anyway, I hope no one is in their bunker anymore. And I know that whoever hacked into their system, that's illegal, and you're kind of a douche for that. But I will give you a very small cheers for making a zombie alert. That is pretty damn funny.
And at least it wasn't a hurricane, volcano, or earthquake alert in Hawaii.
Right.
Like zombies.
Right.
Okay. What is more believable, a zombie alert or an alien invasion? Or are they equally unbelievable?
I think they're equally unbelievable, but I think, War of the Worlds proved that alien invasion alerts really do rile people up, and I think zombie alerts, out of the population we're going to round up, but out of 10,000 people that were sent this message, at least 5% believed it wholeheartedly for the 27 minutes that they had that.
Yeah. I agree. I think I'd have to say alien invasion. I would be more likely to believe alien invasion over zombies.
Me too. But because we all have lizard brains, if I got an alert that said anything crazy like zombie alert or alien invasion or something like that, my right brain would think, come on, that's nuts. Of course that's not real. But there would always be a tiny part of me that would be like, man, if I get anal probed tonight and I had already gotten the warning, I would be pissed at myself. I'd be like, they tried. What else? They tried to warn me.
Well, that takes us to our summer movie challenge catch-up. We don't have any good intro music for that. I apologize. So, new movie in our summer movie challenge has come out, Deadpool 2, and I have not seen it. Gus, I have from good social media word that you have seen it.
Yeah, in fact, this is a bonus teachable moment, but I really like this strategy of if you have a school or just an area that you're traveling to, and you have some people there that are friends, but more social media friends than friends that you hang out with a lot. I think it's really cool to, like a new strategy is to put out there that, hey, there's a movie that I want to see. Does anyone want to come with me to see this movie? And that way you can both hang out with those people and have an activity that you can go do where you don't have to talk that much. So I tried that strategy out. It turned out that I got to hang out with a good friend, Dustin Gibson, was in town. In fact, he canceled his flight. He was supposed to fly to North Carolina that night, and instead he waived off the flight so him and I could hang out and go grab some food and then go see Deadpool. So that was pretty cool. Cheers to you, Dustin. But yeah, so I went to go see Deadpool 2. It was hilarious. I think it wasn't quite as funny as the first one, but it was definitely really fun to go see. And it's funny to see. It's funny to see how much more of a budget they had for this one than the first one.
They put like what, just a few million into the first one, and it rocked. The box
definitely.
office.
And this one they actually had real CGI and they traveled to different locations, and it was definitely hilarious. It is not a kids movie in any way, shape, or form. So don't take the kids. But it was a lot of fun and very irreverent, and had a small message there somewhere. So yeah, it was good.
Nice, cool. Well, I will hopefully see that in the next week or so. So Deadpool 1 came in at 83% on Rotten Tomatoes. Deadpool 2 comes in at exactly 83% again.
Damn.
Crazy. And I'm going back and looking at our predictions. I predicted at the beginning of the summer, I predicted it would get 85%. So I am 2 percentage points off. And Gus, you predicted 91%. So it is me, Peter, for the win again.
I'm getting my ass kicked at this.
I'm like, I've won each of them.
I'm getting my ass kicked at this summer movie challenge. Oh, I hate it.
But
having seen the movie, I don't think there's any chance that it gets to 91%. But I will say, as always, if you're going to go see this movie, you should definitely see the first one first. I think it leads into the second one really well. And as for all Marvel movies, you should definitely stick around through the entire credits. There's, I think, 2 cutscenes at the very end, and then if you wait to the very, very end of the movie, there's not a cutscene, but there is a really funny song that you should probably hear. So yeah, it's definitely worth seeing all the way through.
And by the way, we still need a penalty.
The penalty we're looking for is 3 movies that we have to watch if we fail this challenge from you. So we're looking for like Killer Clowns from Outer Space or something like that, or just movies that we have to be forced to watch and prove that we watched the entire movie.
So send those to us any way you want.
Hey, it's time for Stories from the Road.
So I was supposed to be on the road a little bit last week, but I have a little rant. I got screwed by a client last week. I had a show that was booked for months and months and months at a little theater, and they like a month or 3 weeks before the show, they say we're going to have to cancel because we didn't sell enough tickets and we're going to lose money. And then I said, "Oh, I can't cancel. I've already, this has been booked, contract signed for months and months, and I've already declined other performing opportunities for that day." And then in my head, I thought to myself, it's not my fault you don't know how to advertise, you dumbasses. But I did not tell them that. And
that's good. That's good. It's because
yeah,
you're a pro.
because I'm a pro. And so I told them they couldn't cancel. Then, like a week before the show, they email me and say, "No, we're going to have to cancel, but we'll give you a little bit of your fee as an apology." And thinking to myself, look, I'm not going to take these people to court over this, and that's my easiest way out. Take a little bit of money and just, be grumbling upset. And so that's what I did. And
wash your hands.
Yeah, and so I'm still upset about it, though. I'm still upset. Why would you book somebody? You have this money you're committed to bring a performer in, and you don't put any muscle into advertising. You don't go out there and try to make this a thing. That's their job. They're presenters. They're supposed to do that, and they can't even do that. And then they screw me over for their lack of intelligence in the area that they're supposed to be the experts at. So it pissed me off a bit. So if they ever try to book me again, I will be getting my full fee before I put them on my calendar.
Yeah, that sucks, man. I'm sorry you got screwed over so hard. Can I go on a quick tangent?
Yeah, please.
All right. So my uncle is a blues guitar player, and he's really good. As in, he travels all over the world playing blues guitar, and I've listened to his stories about being a musician for my entire life, and it's so weird because there's some times where he'll go out and he'll play a gig and it's a great deal for him, and there's other times where he just gets bent over on his pricing. And so about, I don't know, is New Year's, I think it was New Year's this year, he was playing a gig at this well-known, well-established bar restaurant place, and they had him bring in not just him but a full band to play, and they had contracted him to come in with all, for all X amount of dollars and pay his band and pay his fees for travel and all of that stuff. And he gets to the venue, and just a few minutes before he gets on stage, they're like, hey, we didn't sell enough tickets, and so we're just not going to pay you at all. So there's that. And so he had to go back and tell everyone who drove down from Dallas, like, hey, guys, client just said they're not going to pay us at all. And two of them were like, well, then I guess I'm not playing. And so they just left. And then the rest of them were like, I mean, we're already here. We might as well. And so they just played a free gig. And I just thought to myself, man, that is such a different mindset than most of the performer people that I know. Like, I think that if you showed up at a gig and the client was like, hey, the stage looks great, lighting looks great, sound sounds good, we're just not going to pay you today, I think you would slowly nod and then go and just get your stuff. like that is taking someone to court worthy. But yeah, it's just a very different world in music, I guess, especially his experiences. Yeah, so anyway, it sucks. I'm sorry you got screwed over by your client, and I guess did they send you a decent percentage, or was it like here's $50, please don't sue us?
They sent me half my, or they said they're going to send me half my fee, but I've tried to contact them twice in the last week and have not gotten a response. So they might be screwing me over a second time. But yeah, if I showed up to a gig, I would not be like your uncle, who was a musician. I would, and they said, we're not going to pay you. I would say, all right, bye. I'd leave. I wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Right. Yeah, I felt really bad for him, and he's like, I mean, whatever, we played a gig, it's fine. I was like, I mean, it's not really, but okay. So last week I told you that I got to go to a play called An Adult Evening with Shel Silverstein. Did I tell you anything about that?
You mentioned it, but I don't have the details. It sounds a little steamy.
Oh. Yeah, okay, so it was one of the most Austinite things that I've done in a very long time, and yeah, man, I just wanted to tell you quickly about it. So imagine this. Imagine that this old school warehouse, like unair conditioned wood slat floor warehouse, got converted into basically a black box theater. And the warehouse used to be a fleshlight warehouse, like the sex toy fleshlight. Okay, so it's got like this weird backstory anyway. And a bunch of hippie artists came in, bought the warehouse, put up some drywalls around there, and turned it into like an art gallery, like a free-flowing art gallery. So there's pedestals with sculpture on there. There's people who've just gone onto the wall directly and used pencil and made really awesome paintings or drawings, I guess. There's actual paintings that are hung up. But it's clearly they just erected a couple of walls around so they could mess around with art. And then you go past the art gallery, and in the back area, there's this theater. And the stage is just a piece of plywood on cinder blocks that has steps going down. And quite literally, to get to the seating areas, which are just random tables that they found and chairs that they found, you have to walk down the stage to get to the seats. And everything it's so artsy, man. It's like everything is a suggested donation. And they're like, look, if you literally can't afford to come to this thing, then it'll be free for you. You can reserve tickets for absolutely free. The suggested donation price is like $20-$25, but pay what you can and come down and enjoy the show.
Wow.
And
I wonder if they get more money that way, though. I wonder if some people, or maybe it evens out. Some people like give you $50 who
Well, yeah, I'll get into that. So they also sell bottles of wine and beer and stuff like that, but they don't sell them. There's a suggested donated price, and so I think a bottle of wine for us was like suggested $20, and they give you a bottle of wine and 2 cups, and we just drank during the show. They had a bunch of different tiers. If you wanted VIP treatment, which is a table right by the stage, it was I think it was a suggested $65, which is a table for 2 at front and center that was reserved, and but the normal donated price was like $25, so with tax it was like $27. I was like, man, that's only like $9 short of the VIP price. Maybe we should do VIP. And then I thought to myself, well, I might not like this thing, and I don't want to be like front and center on the VIP stand if I don't like the play. And so we just got we did do the suggested full suggested price. Well, we show up and they're like, you guys were one of the first people to donate, so we went ahead and upgraded you to the VIP table anyway. So here you go. So we got a bottle of wine.
So now you're stuck, even if you don't like the play.
Right, like we're literally like I could put my foot up on the stage during the show, but they probably packed like 350 people into this really small theater space, and it was just like everything was just so organic and awesome. They have all these hanging bulbs that are like naked hanging lights that they control with sliders to light the area, and the performers start off on the stage, but they explore their space and walk all around the theater and sit in people's laps while they're saying raunchy poetry, and there's like a tech booth that's, again, it's like somebody just built a bunk bed on top of where they sell alcohol, and this chick is just sitting like cross-legged on top of a piece of plywood running all the sliders for the lights and stuff like that. And again, there's no air conditioning, but they have 2 giant warehouse bay doors. So they open the bay doors all the way, and there's this awesome cross breeze that comes in and just cools everybody down. And I'm sure in August that just wouldn't fly, but we went in May, and it was warm, but it wasn't like I was just pouring down sweat. It was, and the play was awesome, man. It was funny. It was very Shel Silverstein-y, like where the sidewalk ends. But it was also super raunchy, and they talked about sex and adultery and people getting murdered with mashed potatoes and stuff like that. Like, it was just crazy. But it was beautiful, man. It was such a great experience, and it was one of those things that it just felt so organic and so very Austinite that I just had to tell you about it, man. It was super cool.
That sounds awesome. That sounds very, very cool. 350 people. Holy crap! They need to talk to the venue. That
and they were sold out.
They sold a lot of tickets.
Yeah. Yeah, no joke. And the event had been sold out. It sold out every single night. They had a live band that was there that was playing like bluegrass folk music that accompanied everything. Dude, it was great.
Nice. Were they serving oysters along with their sexy poems?
No, I don't think they served any food at the place. But again, it's in this really artsy area, so that's coming up. Super gentrification over there. But they have like a tofu and coffee stand that was right across the street that we grabbed some dinner at. It was really good, actually. Oh, nice. And so yeah, it was cool, man. It was super cool.
That sounds wonderful.
Teachable moments.
All right, so I have a teachable moment that will save all you performer friends some money. Never book your flight on any other airline but Southwest before you get the contract back. So I booked a show at a school I've done before, and so they said they want me for this date. I requested all the information for the contract. And then because that day I was booking flights, and I'm trying to book them early because you get better deals, and so you save money on travel and you don't get screwed over. So I was booking some of my orientation schedule flights yesterday. I was like, well, I'll just throw that one in there too, since it's a flight to the other coast. And I booked it on Delta because it was a nonstop, and I was just being lazy and didn't want to stick with Southwest and their connections. And then like the day later I get, oh, I'm sorry, there was miscommunication. Someone else booked another performer that day already. We can't do that date. And so that wasn't them. That was, that was reasonable. We had just kind of talked about it, but I totally screwed myself over. So now I haven't tried canceling on Delta, so I'm sure I'm probably going to lose the entire flight price. So, there's my teachable moment. Don't book your flight on anything but Southwest before you get the contract back.
Yeah, that's rough. And those times suck when you are pretty sure that you're going to get something and you find a really good deal on a flight, but you don't have a contract in hand. And so you have to play that game of, do I want to try to get this good price on a flight, or do I want to make sure 100% that this is a go before I hit that pay now button? So I'm sorry you got screwed over, bud.
Thanks. I appreciate your pity. Because I mean, really, when it comes down to it, every show we do is a handshake deal, right? I mean, we're not getting paid $100,000 and we're a huge band, right? So it's I'm not going to take that person that canceled on me, that organization, to court over that amount of money. It's going to be, it's going to be too much of a hassle for me, and it's going to, in the end, it's just going to be a pain. So pretty much every contract we do is basically a handshake deal. So when it comes down to it, when someone says they're going to book me, usually it comes through. So it's unfortunate, but stupid on me for booking a flight too early.
I'm sorry. I really am sorry you got burned, because that is exactly how it goes. It is just a handshake deal. And the other thing, too, is when you quote people a price, you're quoting them a price based on the best information you have as far as travel is concerned. And so if they take a long time on that contract, it always sucks to try to renegotiate the contract that they just got approved. Be like, hey, man, you guys took 5 days, and now the prices on flights and hotels and rental cars has all gone up, so now I'm getting screwed over. So
man, that's a huge point, because sometimes I don't even get the contract back till a week before the show, and the show's like in Seattle, and I'm not going to book my flight a week before the show to Seattle,
right.
I'm just going off their word.
I quoted you 3 weeks out.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, man, that's a good teachable moment. I hope anybody who travels get some saved money on that teachable moment. I can save you time for my teachable moment.
Oh,
so
I like that.
This week I was at this fancy downtown Westin hotel in Cleveland, Ohio. And it was so downtown that they don't have any parking. All they have is garage parking, which our vehicle won't fit in. But they worked really hard for us so that they could valet park our big Sprinter van. And I realized this, and I don't know why it's never occurred to me, but I realized that you can always call down to valet and pre-order your car to come be waiting for you when you are needing your vehicle. Because usually what happens is when my car is valet parked, I finish whatever I'm doing, either dinner or I'm checking out of the hotel. So I'll check out of the hotel, and then I'll go and I'll hand my ticket to the valet service, and then I stand there and wait for 25 minutes while they go and try to find my car. So here's my teachable moment. About 15, 20, 25 minutes before you're ready to be outside, call down to valet and tell them, hey, I'm going to be leaving. Can you bring my car out? And then by the time you get out there, you won't have to just stand outside waiting like a sucker for your car. You'll just walk out like a boss and be able to just get your keys and drive off into the sunset. So there you go. There's my teachable moment.
Monday Club, saving you time and money. We are of value.
Well, we did it, Monday Club. We made it. Thank you guys so much for listening. Hey, everybody, thank you again from the bottom of our hearts for being part of our Monday Club. You can always check us out on MondayClubPodcast.com, Facebook.com/Monday Club Podcast, Twitter @Monday Club Pod, Instagram us @Monday Club Podcast, email us. Also, you can send us a PayPal if you would like us to get a drink for you on air at MondayClubPodcast@gmail.com. Special thanks to James Caldwell, our sound engineer, and of course, Mr. Zach Holder for our music. Go out, be safe, drive safe, and we will see you next Monday on Monday Club.